on ESPN Radio 1700. Now, live in studio, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family, your business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990. Let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Well, I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money. I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. I should have known better today if I would have thought of it, because I do enjoy the celebration of today. Today is actually Mad Hatter Day, and I've got a bunch of really cool, some people say crazy, hats that I could have worn. I just didn't notice it early enough to go digging them out of storage. A lot of fun. You have a good time with Mad Hatter Day. Post some of those hats that you've got going on. Post them right there on our Facebook page. We look forward to sharing some of that information. It's Ron Siegel Radio on Facebook. Post some of those right there so we can see if you've got some mad hats that you want to share with us. Have a good time with that a little bit. Just watching the news as I do on a regular basis. Some people say maybe I watch it a little bit too much. Interesting seeing what's going on. Have you followed any of what's going on up there in Roseburg right now? And I'm not going to get too much into my beliefs there. I think it's kind of interesting just watching what's going on. But I did notice one thing that caught my eye, and it's probably caught the eye of a lot of folks. Chris Mintz. Do you remember that name, Chris Mintz? He is the hero, the veteran, who went and used himself as a human shield against the shooter up there. Took 7 bullets. The issue that I have with that, I mean, obviously the man is a hero. He's in a hospital bed, all kinds of wounds, not getting near the publicity he should, but obviously here's the other part of it. And I'm quoting here from CNN, Anderson Cooper states that he's doing very well considering the circumstances, unquote. There's a GoFundMe page set up for him. I would highly recommend you go there as well and support the gentleman. Heroic. That's all you can say is heroic. But here's the issue. Because of the school being in a gun-free zone, the gun that he has, the gun that he's trained to use, the gun that he could have used sooner than taking 7 bullets himself, was in his car, locked in his car. Interesting. Now, you're not going to hear that. The president's talking about all this goofiness, and Hillary Clinton is even worse, trying to politicize the issue when you can't politicize and you can't regulate crazy. You can't say, well, we're gonna write a law that says crazy people can't have guns, crooks can't have guns. Well, crooks by definition don't pay attention to laws. So any of the laws that they propose are just strictly for the politicizing of the event. Maybe that's why the people of Roseburg, Oregon don't want the president coming there. It's a shame, but he'll go anyway. It's his narcissism. He feels that he's all important and needs to go to everything and comment regardless of accuracy. That's irrelevant to him. But the issue here is, we've got tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of military men and women coming back from combat, and maybe the law that should be written, that maybe the law that would help solve these problems, is that some of these men and women that have been trained and that have passed psychological evaluations might be hired to protect our schools, to protect our children, and let them have the weapons they've been trained to use, and let them have the orders to protect the kids. Just saying, it might be a thought to consider. Moving right along. How about ATM fees? One bank recently increased their ATM fees to $4.52 per transaction. Information coming out of Bankrate is where that's coming from. In Atlanta and New York, the average out-of-network fee tops $5 for using a ATM. And the banks are getting less and less popular. I mean, there are the big banks that are on many of the corners. Just a thought, what is it that you want from there? What do you want? What are you doing there? Is that what you want? Is that what you expect? Are you watching it, or are you ignoring that one issue? Just a thought for you to think about right there as well. Acer. Gotta see a report from Acer. Most people don't even know what Acer is. They report bankruptcy data, and it's reported by a company called Epic Systems. September 2015 total represented a year-over-year decline of 11,000 bankruptcy filings. So starting to head in the right direction. People are starting to learn how to live on less. Obviously, I know that information because we're seeing that the labor participation rate is not good. We're seeing that wages are not good. Hiring is not good, despite what the administration wants us to believe, that all these new jobs they created, but they don't talk about all the first-time unemployment that offsets those new jobs. So with all that being said, if we're starting to see the lowest number of bankruptcies, that's obviously telling us that the American people are starting to learn to just do with less. Interesting information there. Existing home sales is another number that I see in the news. Existing home sales to pick up as the market shifts towards to favor buyers. Think about that one. Buyers are the ones now that are more in favor. Is it a buyer's market? I'm going to say no, it's not quite a buyer's market yet. We're still at about, I think we reported recently, 5.8 months inventory as a nationwide number. 3 to 6 is where we're really in neutrality. So we're not yet at a buyer's market, but we're getting closer. And I would suggest as you get closer and closer to being in that buyer's market, understanding the need to know what the competition is, who's looking at those houses, getting great housing data, great guidance, we're going to start seeing a lot of changes coming across in the marketplace. Now, I have shared with you before that there are some legal changes in the lending environment that's taking place. They actually went into effect this past weekend. So October 3rd was the day that the laws changed, the CFPB laws changed. You're no longer going to get a good faith estimate when you go to request a loan or to apply for a loan. It's now called a lending estimate. You're not going to be able to close as quickly based on the new loan. I just saw a couple of the appraisal management companies coming out and saying because of the way the law is written, they're going to start increasing appraisal fees because some of the fees that may or may not have been allowed before are no longer allowed. They can't change them. So if they can't change them when they apply to one or two people, or 1 or 2% of the population, well, what they have to do is they have to charge them to everybody because they don't know when they're going to need them and when they're not going to need them. Think about that concept. Not a good concept, not the way we want things to be, but we got to follow the law. That's the way the wonderful Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is set up. That's the way Dodd-Frank was set up. It wasn't set up to help you. It was set up to politicize an issue. Unbelievable. So let's just remember that one as you're going through. You need great guidance. That's why we've set up the Area Trusted Professionals. I'm going to talk a lot about our Area Trusted Professional Program and also about our real estate partners or professionals that are going to be vetted through the Area Trusted Professional Program. And they'll be the ones that we're going to say that you can get great information from in every county, in every state. So stay tuned. We're going to chat a lot about that one today. We're also going to talk about a new way of getting rid of student loan payments. What happens if a home is damaged during escrow? And where are sales prices going within the marketplace? All that and more. Remember, you can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, it's 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Ron Siegel Radio Date Night Trivia, presented by Reunion Kitchen and Drink. Friday, Ron will pose a question based on-air conversations during the prior 7 programs. The person to post the answer according to the guest conversation will win a date night package, including a dinner gift card for Reunion Kitchen and Drink. You might even be able to say hi to Ron when you visit Reunion Kitchen and Drink.
In these uncertain times, it's getting harder and harder to find a safe and effective method of investing. If you're looking at retirement options that can provide some real security for you and your family, look no further than a reverse mortgage with Siegel Lending Team. Hundreds of thousands of other Americans are already taking advantage of reverse mortgages. It allows you to eliminate monthly mortgage payments, pay some bills, or simply enjoy your retirement more. A government-insured reverse mortgage with Siegel Lending Team allows seniors to stay in their home and turn their equity into tax-free cash. To qualify, there are no credit score requirements, and remember, you continue to retain complete ownership of your home. Call 1-800-306-1990 to receive a new special edition handbook, Feature Reverse Mortgage Borrowers, plus an educational brochure absolutely free. Find out more. Call Siegel Lending Team today, 1-800-306-1990. SiegelLendingTeam.com, that's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com, or 1-800-306-1990.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission, lending partners will give a credit at closing, the title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. the real-time real estate segment brought to you by the report from our area trusted professionals. It's a CMA report, and I'm going to talk to you about that in depth following this segment on sales up in almost every price range. That's a new report coming out from the National Association of Realtors. Most recent existing home sales report revealed that home sales were up rather dramatically over last year in 5 of the 6 price ranges they measure. And who cares about the 7th? Not because it's not an important issue, but the 7th range that the National Association of Realtors presents is those homes under $100,000. And the decline in this price range points to the lower inventory of distressed properties available for sale, and really talks about the idea that the market is stronger. Every other category showed a minimum increase of at least 5.6%, with sales in the 250 to 500,000 range up 16.9% year over year. 16.9% year over year. So what's that mean if you're selling your house? Well, the houses we know are selling. If your house has been on the market for any length of time and is not yet sold, maybe you need to sit down with your agent and have a heart-to-heart talk and see why it's not selling. Are you priced wrong? Is it being marketed wrong? Is it market priced appropriately? Maybe it's showing there's issues there. I'm going to chat about that with the real estate professional. And let's chat a little bit about real estate professionals. And I share this with you on a regular basis just because I speak to a lot of real estate professionals on a regular basis. And as I roll out our area trusted professional program, I'm getting a lot of requests right now. The biggest one that I'm getting requests for information on this from is from real estate professionals. They want to be able to go out and help in the marketplace. They want to be able to dispel that myth, and I'll share the myth with you. Fannie Mae report. 37% of the homeowners believe they've got 20% or more equity in their homes. 37% believe that. Again, coming from Fannie Mae. It's not a Ron Siegel radio statistic or anything like that. In reality, 69% of American homeowners have 20% or more equity. 69%. Obviously, the difference there, the disconnect there is 32%. 1 in 3 homeowners do not have an accurate perception of the value of their property. 1 in 3 homeowners do not have an accurate gauge on the value of their property. How do we solve that when it's your largest asset? In most cases, the home is the largest asset you have. If you have a mortgage, it's probably going to be your largest liability. How do we solve that issue? How do we solve it accurately? Because I know I've dug into the website on Zillow, and if you dig into their website, they will tell you how inaccurate the data they provide is. If you want a copy of the report, send me a message, ron@ronsiegelradio.com. I will send you a copy of the report from Zillow's website that tells you about the inaccuracies in the pricing that they deliver. So with that understood, how are you going to get the right information? Where do you get that information? Well, here it is. You need a great real estate professional in your marketplace. It's not going to do you any good to call a real estate professional in San Francisco to help you in La Jolla. Not going to give you good information. They can go online and figure it out. They can go to Zillow just like you're doing. I'm going to tell you right now that that's not the place to do it. I'm going to tell you that there are great real estate professionals in every marketplace, and for the most part, very few people know or have a articulated method to determine a great real estate professional. Here's what I want to know when I look at some of these data, when I look at the applications for people being an area trusted professional for Ron Siegel Radio. I want to know how many transactions they've done. I want to know how many buy sides the agent has done. I want to know how many sell side the agent has done. I want to know what their belief is on representing both the buyer and the seller. I want to understand that. I want to understand on the sell side what their average days on the market is. And if there's some anomalies in there, when you look on each transaction, you don't want to look at just the average alone. You might want to look at the outliers as well, because maybe there's a reason that there is a longer period of time or a shorter period of time for one or another. And you can understand that information. You want to understand that information. That's important information to know. Okay, now I want to know what your property value is. How are you going to come up with that property value? So here's what you can figure out from there. Is if you simply text RSRCMA, Competitive Market Analysis, RSR, Ron Siegel Radio, Competitive Market Analysis. I just used the acronym, RSRCMA, to 79564. We're going to find out, just simply ask you, what is your address? Give us a phone number, a name, and an email so we can get back to you. So one of the trusted professionals can get back to you. They might need a 10-minute conversation with you as well as doing some homework for you. And they're going to tell you what your home value is. Now be aware, when you look at home values, there's a difference in the home value that you're going to get from an appraiser as opposed to the home value you're going to get from a real estate agent. Why? Well, an appraiser is valuing the property for the benefit of a lien holder, a lender. They're looking at, in the event of a default, what's this property worth? A real estate, they're also looking backwards for the most part. They're going to be using, what are the historic sales in that marketplace? Historic sales in the marketplace for a property similar to what you have. They're going to look at the view. They're going to look at the property size, the lot size, bedrooms, bathrooms, what the property looks like, the condition. Do you have that pink grout and green carpet from the 70s? Or is it neutral colors? They're going to look at all those things. That's what the appraiser does. The real estate professional, a good one, a great one, is going to look and say, okay, what can I sell this property for going forward? They're not looking backwards. They're saying, okay, what is the competition in the marketplace today? The appraiser is looking at what sold yesterday. The real estate professional says, I understand that there are properties that might have just sold. When are those going to close? Because those are going to be the comps that the appraiser will use for our transaction. Say it takes 14 days, 15 days, 30 days, 30, 45 days to sell. The properties that sold 30 days ago that may be still showing as pending, those are going to be the properties that are going to be the comps for your sale. A great real estate professional is also going to be looking at competition. What's on the market? Are you the only house that's a 4-bedroom in the neighborhood? Are you the only single-story house in the marketplace? So what would that mean to you? What would that mean to your family? What would that mean to this sales process? Do you have a pool? Does the other one not have a pool? Zillow can check that stuff. Here's one that Zillow might have a problem with, and I don't know their algorithm perfectly. I have read the report on their website that tells us about their inaccuracies. Are you on the correct side of the golf course? What is the value of the view? Maybe somebody put into a listing that there's a view property, but it's what they call a peekaboo view. You can only see part of the view. You can only see it if you're looking at, if you've got the trees cut the right way and the wind's not blowing, or maybe if the wind is blowing, that's when you get to see the view. A great real estate professional that knows your neighborhood, they're going to understand those issues. They're going to look at it. They're going to have a conversation with you. What are your goals and objectives? Right? Maybe you're thinking you're one of those 1 in 3 people that is completely wrong about the appreciation you have, and you haven't moved to that bigger house yet because you don't think you can. You don't think you're going to have enough down payment. Well, in that 10-minute conversation, the real estate professional is going to look at it and say, okay, we can estimate based on public records that you owe X number of dollars on your property. and you're going to net out with X number of dollars if you sell it at the price we suggest. Net out. Now, what do you want to do with that money? Are you looking to buy something smaller? Are you looking to buy something bigger? Are you looking to move to another city? Well, within our area trusted professional program, we've got partners that we've vetted in other cities, other counties as well. That way you're always going to be taken care of. That's the idea of the program. That's our area trusted professionals. We're going to have professionals in every state, every county, being able to help the listeners of Ron Siegel Radio. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, what happens if your house is damaged during escrow? Employers start offering student loan payment plans. Think about that one as well. You can reach us anytime. Our off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, and on Twitter @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Siegel Lending Team offers you buying power. Let's say you can afford a monthly mortgage payment, including principal and interest, of around $1,985. With today's rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage of 4.75% APR, 4.812% of that payment could support a $375,000 mortgage. But if you wait and rates tick up to around 6.5%, which is roughly the average home mortgage rate over the past 30 years, that same $1,985 mortgage payment, including principal and interest, may only be able to support a $314,000 mortgage. That's $61,000 worth of home that you're missing out on by waiting. All you need to do to get started is reach out to the Siegel Lending Team. 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Payment example excludes taxes and insurance. Call us for full details at 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 or SiegelLendingTeam.com. Equal housing lender, licensed under NMLS number 6066 and 217037.
Southern California attorneys have over 15,000 real estate agents to call in Orange County for their personal and professional needs. Why do they overwhelmingly call Melinda Johnson? Simple. It's the Melinda Johnson trifecta. Melinda is an attorney, real estate broker, and realtor. Does your family deserve the same professional services California lawyers demand? Call Melinda Johnson at 714-863-5485. That's 714-863-5485. Or on the web at freedomfirstproperties.com.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel Lending Team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel Lending Team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today brought to you by Commerce for a Cause. Commerce for a Cause. If you take credit cards, and even if you know somebody that takes credit cards, they're paying a credit card processing fee. The credit card processing fee is then going to a big corporation. What if you could get the processing fee matched by another corporation, big as well, and instead of keeping all that money and sending it to their bottom line, 20% of it can go to the charity of your choice. Yeah, that's what Commerce for a Cause does. I suggest you reach out to them if you are involved in a charity. Here's the other one. I talk to a lot of charitable organizations. We get quite involved in quite a few of them at Ron Siegel Radio. And one of the big issues they have is trying to raise money, trying to get money for their new programs. What if the charity, instead of going and asking for money, what if they go to some of their donors and ask them, hey, get signed up with Commerce for a Cause. They're going to match what you're already paying, and then you can list us as the beneficiary of that 20% rebate. The charity gets more money, doesn't cost the business anything at all, and everybody wins except some big institution that's not getting quite as much money going to their bottom line. What happens if a home is damaged during escrow? Doesn't happen often. It's an interesting concept because we never know when there's going to be damage. We're seeing what's going on right now in the Carolinas. Obviously, our thoughts and prayers go out to our fellow citizens there. But what happens when a house gets damaged and it's in the middle of an escrow process? Well, the first thing you have to obviously look at is look at the contract. What does the contract say about the damage? What is the extent of the damage? That's where a lot of the issues get involved here. Is the litmus test in many instances is going to be how much damage is involved. Is it significant damage? Is it just minimal damage? And it's generally going to be determined by the value within the contract. So if you've got a contract and the value of the damage is less than 5%, and both parties agree to move forward, the seller is the one that's going to be required to remedy or to correct the problem prior to closing. Now, hopefully the seller's got insurance on the property. They should. If they've got a mortgage on the property, the mortgage is still going to be in place, and the lender, their lien holder, the seller's lien holder, is going to want to have insurance because that's still their collateral. So under 5%, generally you can continue going forward with it. Over 5, you got to look at what the contract says. If there's more than 5% damage, most buyers are going to have an opportunity to cancel the agreement and move on without losing any of their money or any of their deposit. Now here's the other part of that is the buyer's lender, the buyer's mortgagor is going to want to get involved as well if there's more than 5%. Many times, if it's up to 3%, the new lender, will allow the contract to go through without incident. Anything more than that, and that new lender is going to want to know about the damage, they're going to probably want a new appraisal, and they may even cancel the loan. Might. These are all issues that you've got to address, you've got to look into. So they might cancel the loan if it's more than 3%. The issue here is you don't want to get to the closing table, going in and signing documents, and run into surprises. That's where the issues come in. So in many instances, you're going to want to let your new lender know, hey, there was a fire at the property, there was a flood in the property, slab leak at the property. And they're going to want to know because it's their lien. They're going to want to know, they're going to want to get a property inspection. They might want a new appraisal. And your real estate professional may be able to leverage some of that for your benefit. They might be able to renegotiate some issues within the contract for your benefit. If there is a slab leak, say, wouldn't you want your real estate professional to let you know? Because they're going to have to replace carpeting. Wouldn't it be beneficial to replace carpeting with something that maybe you like? Or to give you a credit for carpet replacement? Issues to chat about. But again, you need to have a professional that understands these things. If you're dealing with a real estate professional that has not been around, maybe you're the first transaction. And everybody starts with transaction number 1. I don't know anybody that doesn't start with transaction number 1. But if you're dealing with somebody and it's their first transaction, hopefully they're part of a team. Obviously, you didn't call and didn't get registered with the area trusted professionals with Ron Siegel Radio, because they're going to give you this information. They're going to understand these things. They're going to have had multiple transactions. They're going to know that. So that is the Mortgage Minute, again, brought to you by Commerce for a Cause. And if you're contemplating a new home, I would highly recommend start your board of directors right now with an area trusted professional. What is your household board of directors? That's an issue that I've been evangelizing, I think is the best way of putting it, for 5 years now. I've been talking about your household board of directors. It's a very, very unique issue. And here's what a household board of directors is. If you own real estate, you should be consulting with a real estate professional at least once a year. I don't want you to be one of those 1 in 3 people who has no idea what the value of your property is. Whether you're looking to sell or not sell, being educated never ever hurts you. So you should be having a conversation with your real estate professional on a regular basis. I just had this conversation yesterday with a gentleman who handles the contact management systems, owns a company, handles contact management systems for mortgage professionals, real estate professionals, and wealth managers. His comment to me was most real estate professionals, not all, work in a very, very transactional mentality. They help you buy your house and they're done with you. They help you sell your house, they're done with you. They're not looking to maintain a long-term relationship with you. Because they look at it and say, okay, you're buying a house once every 5 to 7 years. They want to eat every year, so they don't care what goes on in between. Well, the area trusted professionals that we look at, we deal with, that we vet at Ron Siegel Radio, they're not working that way. They're working from a relationship business. They look at it and say, okay, I understand what you're saying. I understand that you're not selling this year, but you should be educated on your property. So they send you, whether you're looking to buy, sell, or anything, a market analysis for your home on a regular basis. The mortgage professionals, they're doing the exact same things. That's part of your household board of directors. When you think about Apple or Microsoft or Verizon, do you think they meet with their board of directors once every 5 years? Once every 7 years? No, they're meeting on a regular basis. They're getting evaluations on a regular basis. You need to talk to your tax person at least twice a year. At least twice a year. Most people say, Ron, I only have to do my taxes once a year. Why do I need to talk to him twice a year? Well, we're going into tax season right now. Most people don't recognize that. We are in tax season right now. Your tax professional cannot help you with tax planning in March. It's too late. They can help you with tax planning in October, November. That's when you're doing your tax planning. You file taxes next year or at the beginning of the first quarter of the year. That's when you file the taxes. One is when you're reporting them. One is the time when you're doing your planning. So you should be meeting with that person on your board of directors twice a year minimum. Wealth management advisors. And I'm not saying a stockbroker. Most wealth management advisors, they never talk to you about your 401k because they don't make money on it. You need to manage that. You need to understand how to use that properly. I'm a big believer that a 401k and IRA, those are government rules to take more of your money. That's what they're geared for. The only time that you should have a 401k, the only money you should contribute to it, is that which is being matched by your employer in a significant way. If it's not matched by your employer in a significant way, there are other tools that are much better for you and will earn you a higher yield with better tax advantages than a 401k or an IRA. It's just the way it is. So why aren't you using them? Well, probably because you don't have a board of directors for your household. Insurance. How often are you having all of your insurances checked? I've got a person in Orange County that we send a lot of folks to. Some of the numbers that he comes back with on insurance are startling. But people don't check with him often enough to find out. Maybe this week we want company A, maybe next week company B, maybe you fit in with company C because your family demographic and your statistics are different. So here's the concept. The area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. All you have to do is text ATP, Area Trusted Professional, to 79564. I'm going to share a little bit more with you about who else is on that board of directors. When we come back, you're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. We're also going to talk about student loans, how some employers are starting to help with programs to pay off student loans. You can reach me anytime. Call our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, and on Twitter @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Homeowners that are 62 and older are about to find out a great way to live a better retirement. It's called a reverse mortgage, and SLT can help you learn more. Call the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990 right now to receive your free booklet with no obligation. It answers questions like how a reverse mortgage works, how much you qualify for, the ways to receive your money, and more. When you call the experts at Siegel Lending Team today, you'll learn the benefits of a government-insured reverse mortgage, how it will eliminate your monthly mortgage payments, and give you tax-free cash from the equity in your home. Here's the best part. You still own your home. Now is the best time to take control of your retirement. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 to get your free brochure. Call today or visit our website at SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com, or simply call 800-306-1990.
State-ordered mandatory water use cuts are in effect. Irrigate no more than twice a week. Visit whenindrought.org. A message from the San Diego County Water Authority and its member agencies.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Word on Wealth segment today brought to you by our area trusted professionals. I'll talk about more about that in a minute. How about employers start offering student loan payment plans? I've shared this one with you before. I didn't realize the numbers had graduated to this size. But student loan debt is one of the items I see most frequently when consulting with listeners on reasons that they're getting turned down for home loans, being turned down to buy a home. $1.3 trillion in student loan debt is what we have right now. $1.3 trillion. Average college graduate owes approximately $35,000 in student loan debt. Average college graduate. And then on top of that, they're responsible for car loans, rent, credit cards, Unbelievable. Millennials are expecting more benefits from their employers, and alleviating student loan debt is a high priority for them. In April 2015, a study from Ed Assist concluded that 33% of millennials expect their employers to help pay down debt. 33% expect their employer to help them pay their debt. Interesting. Well, Boston-based startup Gradifi, I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it, is looking to help employers do that. They've created a program to alleviate student loan debt called the Student Loan Pay Down Plan, SLP. Tim D'Amelio is the founder of Gradifi and said he developed the idea after seeing students at his alma mater, Babson College, where he also sits on the board of trustees, suffer the tremendous burden of the debt. So I guess there are some solutions out there where people are, in fact, looking at methods of solving this problem. National Association of Bureau of Affairs estimates that U.S. businesses lose $11 billion annually in employee turnover. If you can find a way to solve that, think about how much better that is for the businesses. Gradifi currently offers 3 types of plans for employers looking to implement a student loan payment plan starting in 2016. The first is a first step program where an employer would contribute a fixed amount per month to an employee's loan burden, and then on the 12th month would offer more. Second plan is a traditional matching program where an employer would match a certain percentage of their employee's contribution, and the third program is a fixed rate that an employer would pay monthly. It's very interesting. I'm wondering where this will go is in the way of taxes. I wonder how this is going to be impacted in taxes. It's certainly going to be a business expense to the company, but I wonder if it's a business expense paying off that debt or how it's going to go into Social Security taxes, all the other tax issues. That's going to be an interesting discussion. That is the Word on Wealth segment, again brought to you by Ron Siegel Radio, area trusted professionals. So before the break, I was chatting with you. I've talked to you about the real estate professionals. I've talked to you about the mortgage professionals. We've talked to you a little bit about insurance and how you can save money in insurance with these professionals. One thing I have neglected to tell you, and this is the best part of all of it, the program is totally complimentary to you. Setting up your household board of directors will cost you absolutely nothing. We appreciate you listening. So you get the income tax advice. You're dealing with mortgage. If you're over 62 years of age, you may want to talk, again, it's just a conversation, with a reverse mortgage professional. They are part of the area trusted professionals as well. Maybe you're looking to buy a retirement home and you're part of that 1 in 3 people, the 1 in 3 who have a completely misunderstand the value of your property according to Fannie Mae. 1 in 3 do not know how much the value of their property is or how much equity they have. What if you use that equity to buy a new house if you're over 62 years of age and never make a mortgage payment? Well, for some people, that's a good idea within that reverse mortgage. Some people have misconceptions of the reverse mortgage. I just say, you need to understand it. I'm not saying it's right for everybody. I don't think anything is right for everybody. Moving right along. How about your credit report? Now, I've shared with you, we've had professionals come in here, and I just repeat the information from the professionals, talking about the fact that if your credit score is too low, if it's not accurately represented, if a difference between a 650 and a 750 legitimate FICO score, having a $400,000 house and a $35,000 car could be costing you $500 a month. Is it worth sending that free text to ATP to 79564 to get information on how this might affect you? Text ATP to 79564. Okay, so we've got the mortgage, reverse mortgage, credit, income tax, home and auto insurance, real estate, wealth advisors. I'm involved right now as we speak. I multitask with somebody on social media that's just put on there that says that they're looking at paying off their real estate, paying off their real estate. And I shared with them, why would you want to pay off your home? It is the highest risk thing you can do, paying off a house. And people will argue with me all the time, oh, Ron, I want to have my house paid off because it's safe and secure that way. Hogwash. Tell me what those people said in 2008, 2009, if that needed to sell their house and saw that they lost 20, 30, 40% of the equity in their property. Was it any better than having your money in the stock market? 20, 30, 40% loss? Same thing in real estate, but nobody wants to talk about that part, do they? So what if you have your money in a safe, secure investment? Safe and secure. What if you have your money there? Think about that concept. I think that if you have your money in a safe, secure investment, you're better off. Take it out of the real estate. That way, if that drops, that way you can diversify. Have you ever heard that term, diversify? What happened to the people that had all of their retirement funds in Enron stock? Do you remember that name, Enron? Yeah, they're out of business. Those people that had their retirement funds there lost it all. Same thing with the people that had all of their eggs in the real estate basket, in equity in their home in 2008, 2009, 2010. They didn't lose it all. They lost a significant amount, whether they had a mortgage or not. I'm going to suggest to you, if they were fully encumbered, had a larger mortgage, they were better off. Why? Because they had liquidity, they had cash, they could put the money where they wanted it to be instead of where somebody else told them. The bank was secure, but they were not. And it cost them a lot of money. Now, what can you get? Where do you have a safe, secure investment that's going to pay you double or triple what the mortgage amount is? Well, I don't know, because I don't have a crystal ball and I can't guarantee the future. What I can tell you is for the last 5 years, there is an investment class, and it's an alternative investment, not correlated to the stock market, not correlated to the gold market, not correlated to commodities, that did yield 14 to 20% return on average over the last 5 years, including in the market bubble and the market burst. 14 to 20%. What do you think about those numbers? Does that make sense to you? What if you could have a safe, secure place to put your cash and get it when you needed it, as opposed to when somebody else told you? Well, financial planners that we have talked to, interviewed, shared information with have those safe, secure investment solutions. Have you sent your text yet? ATP to 79564. Let's continue if you haven't. Attorneys. On your household board of directors, you definitely need one, you may need 2 or 3 of the attorneys, maybe even more, that are part of the program. Estate planning attorney. I promise you, I don't know when, but nobody yet has figured out a way to avoid dying. So you're going to probably need an estate attorney. If you don't, the state where you live has some sort of a plan for your estate when you die. So do you want them to make the decisions, or do you want to make the decisions about your estate? Estate planning attorneys, part of the Area Trusted Professional Program. Hopefully you don't need a bankruptcy attorney, but they are part of that. Hopefully you don't need a family lawyer or a divorce attorney, but they're part of it. So you'll get that introduction as well. What if you're looking at starting a business? Well, business finance is an issue. There are people involved with the Area Trusted Professionals that can help you finance a business. Everything from a startup, yes, startup financing, all the way up to seasoned professionals who understand asset-based lending. Maybe you don't understand asset-based lending. Maybe you don't understand what an ESOP is. But there are people within the Area Trusted Professionals who could be on your household board of directors that do understand this. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564, and I see there's a lot of people filling out that form. It takes you about 3 minutes to fill out the form. If you have other needs within your board of directors, put them on there. We may talk, I've already talked to some of those people as well. I see some of these coming through right now. If you have not done it, you should. Text ATP to 79564, complimentary. Get your household board of directors, and whatever you do, be sure to set your first radio preset button to come back here to Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Steve, who's engineering us today, and of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions, call me anytime. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. If you missed the broadcast, go to Ron Siegel Radio on ronsiegelradio.com. That's there, and on YouTube. And remember, make a lot of money, help a lot of people, have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
In the middle of our street, our house.
XAPA 1700 AM Decatur, Baja California.
You're listening to ESPN Radio 1700.
So,